All right, welcome back to College Football Addiction. Going to talk a little BYU after they stomped Colorado last night in the bowl game. Drake C. Toll, our video today presented by BetUS. Man, we both thought Colorado would win this thing. What went right besides everything for BYU?
I predicted, I was shocked. I was truly shocked by this football game because the nature of which BYU won it. I thought there toward the end, okay, I'm going to kind of lean BYU, give them the edge because their run defense and their run game and the lack of run defense for Colorado. Little did I know, BYU was playing with its food. Colorado is a very good football team. Nothing should be taken away from Deion Sanders, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders. There should be no conversation about, oh, that was your Heisman Trophy win. No, you just played a very good BYU football game who was poised to win this in the trenches and poised to do it with their run game. And even when their offensive coordinator, Aaron Roderick, was like, oh, what about a little pitchy, woo-woo end around? Anybody? Would we like some of that? No, it's a great way to turn the ball over. And BYU did turn the ball over, but they were so dominant in the run game. Had they stuck to that, they probably win this game by 40 points. It was that kind of performance for the Cougars. That's what surprised me the most, is not that they won necessarily, but how they won it. This was never, ever supposed to be a blowout. What a dud of a game just because BYU was that good.
Yeah, we thought that, and we had seen Colorado's offensive line be a lot better this season. So much improvement over what they showed in 2023. BYU's defense never let Shedeur be comfortable. They never let the run game get going, and it looked like the Colorado offensive line from 2023. That defense, you mentioned the way that they played offensively. Obviously, their special teams was great too, but their defense just, if you're going to beat Colorado, you got to limit their best weapons, which are on offense, and they absolutely did that.
I'm not sure if I've seen Colorado play scared this season until that game. You look at the Kansas game, they got down by so much. They were trying to play comeback, and against Nebraska, it felt like their entire season could have been derailed. And a ton of credit to Deion Sanders for keeping the team together following that Nebraska loss and putting them in this position. But they looked, for the first time to me, scared against BYU. You could see it on that one specific play where they're at the 7-yard line in BYU territory, about to go score. They can make this game competitive once again. And then Shedeur gets sacked. Not only does he get sacked, he starts running backwards and loses 20 yards. I mean, if you look at the box score of the game, if you didn't watch the game and just went to the box score, you would see that not only did BYU win, but in finality, they held Colorado to this is stunning. They held Colorado to 2 rushing yards on 19 attempts. That is, most of that came from sacks, but that is still a 0.1 yards per rush for Colorado. I don't know if I've seen them play so scared in a football game, and Deion Sanders said it in the postgame. He said everything that I'm saying right now, and that was, we got our butt kicked by a darn good football team. A ton of credit to Kalani Sitake. That credit was given by Deion Sanders in this BYU season. This BYU season will always be a, had we gotten to the playoff, what noise could we have made? But this was a great exclamation point on an 11-win campaign for Kalani Sitake.
Yeah, just talking big picture about that. Obviously, they were so impressive in the game. Special teams was so impressive. We didn't really hit on that, but obviously the punt return. They were so good in all 3 aspects. And like you said, Coach Prime, people like to get on him. We'll talk about Colorado in a little bit, but he said all this too. This isn't like, oh, Drake and TJ just hating on. No, Coach Prime was pretty clear about what happened in this game.
I'm probably being nicer about this game than Deion was, honestly.
Yeah. And that was just the public things that you saw him say. The private things may have been a little harsher. But man, like you just mentioned, an 11-win season. This is unthinkable. Like, nobody expected this out of BYU. I don't even know if people inside the program. You're always we're gonna win every game. Yeah, you're always gonna have that confidence, right? That fake confidence, and fake it till you make it. Nobody expected this. How did this turnaround happen? I'll get right back to the video, but first, want to give some love to BetUS. You can use our code YouTube150 for a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit. You get 125% on your next 2 deposits. All of that up to $2,000, whether you're betting on the college football playoff, bowl season, the NFL, NBA, NHL, whatever you want to bet on, they will get you taken care of. Again, YouTube150 gets you that bonus. I appreciate BetUS.
Yeah, this reminds me a lot of that 2022 TCU season where the Horned Frogs did go to a national championship. And I do believe had BYU again gotten to postseason play where they could vie that 12-team playoff, they would have had a shot at the very least because of the magic they'd put out there. Look at some of these scores though. The SMU game 18-15, the Baylor game 34-28, where Baylor made a really big charge there late, or Oklahoma State where it took a miracle at the end to go win it against the Cowboys, or Utah where it took a miracle at the end to go win it against the Utes. BYU is a handful of plays away from looking at a 5-loss season, a 4-loss season, and this being a completely different campaign. What was so great about BYU is they used their experience and honestly such impeccable coaching in 2 of those 3 phases, that being defense and special teams, to go make that one last play. That extra veteran play at the very end of these football games, and the Colorado game notwithstanding, it was a blowout. But in so many situations here for BYU, they took the expectation and said, hey, look, even in close games, even when not just you predicted us to lose this many games in the season, now you're predicting us to lose based on the ESPN in-game projector. Oh, we have a 73% chance to lose this game. Watch this. Hold my non-alcoholic beer. They would go down and find a way in the end. So to me, if you break it down, not just as the season as a whole, but a microcosm game by game, holy cow. This team just had a knack for winning football games. It wasn't luck, a knack for winning football games because of the coaching and the veteran experience. The Cougars, they shocked a whole lot of people. And again, you've got to be excited with that. But you'll always wonder, we shocked a lot of people, and we were one game away from shocking the entire country.
Yeah, it felt like they found ways to win, whether it was that SMU game with defense, whether it was a different game with a ton of points and offense or a comeback. And Saturday night felt like, hey, let's just go out and put it all together against maybe the most talented team we've played all year. Let's not play just one side of the ball. Let's play all 3 and show what we really could have been. It did feel like this game, not personal by any means, but just hey, we're going to go out and show you that we can put a complete effort together. And they had the time off to do that. They had the rest. They had okay, let's refocus. Obviously, a game later in the bowl season. And to me, that's what it was. They put it all together. What does this mean for them? One game does not a program make or miss, but what does their future look like there? What we've talked about the portal and stuff in other videos, but where are they from a going forward standpoint?
Yeah, BYU is one of the deadliest teams in the Big 12 moving forward, and part of that is because the athletic department has committed. My ring light can't commit to staying on, but the athletic department at BYU can commit to winning, and that's something that's new. Saying that's weird. Now I'm going to back up now on my soapbox here. BYU fans going to hear that and go, "Whoa, what are you talking about? We've always wanted to win." Yeah, BYU's done it with 3 stars. They've said, "All right, let's go to Orem, let's go to Park City, let's go find that 3-star kid, let's go to Lehigh. We're going to turn him into a 5-star young man who goes on his mission, comes back and wins us football games. We go 8-4." Now BYU saying, "Oh shoot, let's go find a 4-star or a 5-star, pony up the NIL." You saw it in basketball. Basketball put a lot of pressure on football to be this new branded BYU. And with that, they're going to grab more talent out of the portal, more talent out of the high school ranks, still develop those kids at the rate they've done for those 3 stars, and compete in the Big 12 moving forward. TJ, this is the flagship university of one of the fastest growing faiths in the entire world. The pockets are deep. The support is deep. The support is worldwide as well. BYU is in as good a spot as anybody, whereas a Cincinnati, that's got to be blue collar. BYU's been blue collar for a long time. Cincinnati has to stay blue collar because they've got pro teams in town. They don't really have, it's kind of that recruiting area is decent, but you're competing with Ohio State. For BYU, you don't have to say blue collar. You've got the money, you've got the donors, you've got the ability to go nationwide for recruiting and nationwide support for your support base. A lot of Big 12 teams don't have that luxury. The fact that BYU does, buckle up. This era of BYU athletics will be the greatest that we've ever seen.
Drake, where can people follow you? Where can they get more of your content, bud?
Yeah, at LO Big 12 on Twitter or at Drake C. Toll on that same platform, and wherever you find your podcast with Locked On Big 12.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. If you appreciated, enjoyed, loved, or hated our video today, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of our content. Again, appreciate BetUS for their support. We will talk to you soon on College Football Addiction.